And just like that, we're back. It's Views from Section 400. Matt, Jack, and Brian. In a delayed show, doesn't mean that we're not going to bring the energy. Action-packed, uninterrupted sports conversation on the cards in this one. It's a Mike in the Week show, or Mike of the Week show. Winners and losers will be midweek. A lot going on in the world of sports, so we obviously have a lot to get into. But without further ado, Jack had a little bit of travel. That's why we're delayed one day here. Brian's wedding video came out Friday. I know we saw a lot of people get hammered. I might have won the most drunk. Brian might have won the most drunk. Either way, you know, Section 400's getting after it the hardest. So go check that out over on all our socials. You want to see the full video, youtube.com/views from Section 400. Go check it out. Leave a comment. Subscribe to the YouTube. We're growing like crazy. It'll be some good stuff. But it's the Views from Section 400 podcast. I'm going to jump right into the Mike of the Week, the Michael of the Week, whatever you want to call it. You can take up Brian on the name. Brian, why don't you kick us off with your beloved segment here?
Well, before I get into that, Jack, we mentioned the weddings. I do have to know how friend of the program Clark's wedding was this weekend.
Extravagant. It was very nice, very, very nice. A very nice area of Nashville, Tennessee. Had a ton of people there, probably 6, 7, 8 people in the band. It was drinks flowing, good plated dinners. It was, black tie event. It was the nice stuff, the finer things in life for a weekend. I was in a monkey suit tux, 90-degree weather in Nashville. So thanks for making me sweat my balls off, Clark. But hell of a time. Congrats to you and Annalise.
Yeah, I saw the boys dressed up in the black tie attire, and it looked like a good time, but it did look very hot. So I'm proud of you for getting through that.
Yeah, as Derek Lewis would say, my balls was hot, but at the same time, I'd do it for Clark.
Congrats to Clark and Annalise. And Clark, we'll have to get you on eventually here. I know you're a big Washington sports guy. Teams might be a little terrible, but we'll find a way to get you on.
Yeah, maybe we'll ask for his opinion on Jaden Daniels down the road.
Yeah, I need an ally in that whole debate. So maybe there we go.
Yeah, you do.
We already got Brian as a New York fan, especially Giants. I'll step in here as the intermediary and say that we probably will not be having Washington sports talked about anytime soon. Hate to burst the bubble there.
Just wait till Jaden wins Rookie of the Year.
Then that'd be a different discussion. But I'm certainly not sold on that. But Brian, why don't you kick us off with the Mike of the Week here, dude? We're not going down the rabbit hole in Washington sports.
All right. Well, I don't know if this guy's from Washington, but either way, my Michael of the Week is Buster Olney got hacked on Twitter. So a couple months ago, my Michael was Metro Boomin getting hacked on Twitter. Today, it's Buster Olney. And there were some great tweets that this hacker put out here. So the first one that kind of made everyone realize he got hacked was he said, the New York Mets are finalizing a deal that will send Francisco Lindor to the Oakland Athletics, sources tell ESPN. Which is pretty on brand considering how much Buster Olney fucking hates the New York Mets. So I don't feel any remorse for this guy getting hacked. He also said Shohei Ohtani has been banned for life from the MLB and connected to charges of gambling. The Baltimore Orioles are relocating to Las Vegas, and the Oakland A's will stay in Oakland. And the season has been canceled due to COVID. So a Hall of Fame run by this hacker of Buster Olney.
Did they catch the guy or girl who hacked the account?
I don't know if they caught him, but the tweets have since been deleted.
And I'm sure nobody's on the account or got restored back to Buster's fingers.
Yeah, I feel like you could have done something a little bit better than just a couple of errant tweets, but all right, whatever. I guess some people probably got a really good laugh out of it.
Yeah, there was also one that just said "fuck your mother," so I chose to leave that one out. But that's how he started everything off.
It may have been the best tweet.
Well, if you're gonna pull the hack off, like make it something more believable. I guess there was one of them in there that might have been a little, but like the Ohtani one, like I'm not believing that. The case is already closed. I mean, I guess it's different when it's coming from Olney's account. So it's like maybe you can say asinine out-of-pocket things and people just have to believe it by default. But I think you could have rolled with a better more believable fake story. But either way, that's not good for everything that entails that.
Yeah, not a great look for ESPN and Buster Olney. And their baseball coverage has already been getting shit on. So it continues to just be a shithole over at ESPN.
ESPN's now just their viewing experience for every sport, at least in my opinion, is not great.
I mean, we'll get to the NBA Finals talk later, but their halftime shows for the first two games, it's been like 15 seconds of actual segments, and then the rest is just commercials. It's like, what are we doing here?
Football sucks. I don't care that they got Joe Buck. Baseball, not great. Something like baseball, it's okay. Not great. College football might be the worst.
Yeah, I think baseball takes the cake over for the worst over college football.
Really, the 12 o'clock college football games where they just are airing them to air them.
Well, that's just because there's so many of them, but like at least their primetime games are still in the afternoon or at night. You have Fox having their biggest games at noon. Going to ruin the Penn State whiteout this year because of that. So at least they're not doing that.
I don't know. I think it sucks.
Jack,
Anyway.
That was a brain dead conversation. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm surprised you had nothing to say about Joe Buck because I know how much you love him.
Yeah,
Well, you brought up Joe Buck,
tried to plug you in there, Mr. Brain Dead, but
no, I mean, bro,
Yes,
you
brain
brought
dead
up Joe
now.
Buck in football like out of left field, like it was supposed to mean something. Like the whole conversation was just.
So you're in support of ESPN?
What am I supporting ESPN on?
We're talking about Buster Olney. Brian said not a good look for ESPN. Then I brought up how ESPN's broadcast sucks. And then I said I don't care that they got Joe Buck. And then you were just lost from the Buster Olney part, I guess.
I thought you were talking about in general broadcast across different sports when you started going there. I didn't know you meant the ESPN, the ESPN specific broadcast. Okay, yeah, that's where I got confused because you said I think college football is the worst, and I'm sitting there like game day's sick. I love game day. Do you not?
Yeah, they do have. I mean, that's not a broadcast of the game though.
Yeah, it's not the game.
It goes most of the time on ESPN. It goes from game day to like SMU at Tulane at 12 o'clock.
And that's my point.
Okay.
But
yeah,
that's walk back your comment or
I mean, if we're not going to include segments like game day, then yeah, I'll retract my comment. But I feel like that's all part of the broadcast.
Well, on like a per game basis, we're talking.
If they jumped if they were like it was strictly just about a game and then jumped right into that game, maybe. But like Brian said, they hype up the game that's going to start 7 hours down the line at night, and then it goes to fucking like two random guys at SMU and Tulane that had just like it doesn't connect. But
I understand what you're saying. You kind of, I mean, we're really going off on a tangent here, but that's really just to go back to Brian's first point. There's so many games in the day, they have to start at noon. You have to get game day in before the whole slate. You know, even though we're all waiting for that primetime game at night, it's just part of the scheduling. And I feel like that's why I was incorporating game day as part of the entirety of the broadcast. I mean, Saturday college football, boom. I understand the earlier games sometimes aren't as great as the late ones, unless it's something like rivalry weekend. But I mean, no, I guess I'm not hating on ESPN as much as you guys are.
I think the main point here that Matt was trying to make with the ESPN college football is like compared to CBS or like the elites of the college football broadcast, ESPN is not as good.
Okay, I'll give you that, Matt.
And I think in general the ESPN broadcasts suck, but we can save that for a different conversation. I don't want to hurt your brain too much, Jack. But why don't you give us a little mic of the week here, dude, before you have an aneurysm?
Well, shit, this is gonna make me have an aneurysm, so let's get right into it. CMC contract extension. 49ers have been talking about what we got to do with Debo, what we got to do with Ayuk, especially. Trent Williams is talking about he wants an extension to rework his contract. We just had Nick Bosa hold out to the end of last year, missed training camp just so he could get the fattest contract. They're going to have to pay Brock Purdy, I think, next year or maybe in 2 years. But, dude, San Francisco 49ers have to pay all these people. And then out of left field, CMC is the one that's getting the extension. I fully support it. I mean, he's the best non-quarterback offensive player in the league, in my opinion. I'd probably rather have him than Justin Jefferson right here this season, going into this next season. But yeah, he's going to be the highest paid running back. Already was, getting the extension to get paid even more. Yeah, what do you guys think about that? I mean, I understand that he's a very essential piece of their offense, but they got all these other guys that need to get paid too.
Yeah, well, he kind of is the offense, right? Like we had the live stream of the NFC Championship game, however many months ago that was, and we were just laughing about how many plays in a row went to Christian McCaffrey. Is it just when the going got tough, they spammed him, and that's what they're going to have to do if they ever want to get over the hump and win a Super Bowl.
I'd rather give him the money than Brock Purdy.
That's fair.
Well, I mean,
So Matt, let me ask you this. After next season, 49ers don't win the Super Bowl, right? They don't win the Super Bowl. Let's say they get there. Let's say they're losing the NFC Championship to the Eagles. One of those things. What happens next year with the Niners and Brock Purdy? They have to pay him or he's going to go somewhere else? You think they go back to the well in the draft, or you think they're going to nut up and pay him?
As much as I hate the Niners and I hate the fan base and I really don't like the players, especially Deebo Samuel, but I do think their general manager, John Lynch, is competent and a smart guy. And there's a reason why he builds these rosters where they're always competitive and good. I think he's smart enough to know that giving Brock Purdy all that money is going to hurt them long term in terms of keeping talent around. So something tells me that Purdy's not going to get all this money that people keep saying that he's going to get. I don't know if they worked out. He's not on. They didn't do like a small deal, right?
No.
He's owed the money next year. So he's got
on his rookie contract. Yeah, they
got
haven't
1 year
restructured it.
Purdy can't really hold out for the money. Yeah, I just think Lynch is going to be smart enough to not give him that money. Another team's going to probably throw like the Raiders, for example, will do some dumbass shit and throw money at Brock Purdy. I don't think that's the right answer. When you put that much talent around a guy, it's easy for them to look good. I don't know that even the 49ers are sold on him. They would have extended him already. Look what the Eagles did to Hurts. Look at all these other quarterbacks that got extensions.
You could put Daniel Jones on the 49ers, and they'd still be just as good.
I don't know about all that.
That's crazy. That's crazy, bro. We will not take that 49er slander.
Dude, Daniel Jones led his team to the playoffs when they weren't completely hurt. If you put him around all those weapons, I think he's competent enough to do it. And that's not shitting on Brock Purdy. That's just saying how good that scheme and how good those players are over there. I think you could put any competent quarterback in that situation and they thrive. Now, if you keep Brock Purdy, maybe he doesn't have the talent to get him over the top, which is what we've seen so far. So, like Matt said, you might need to restart.
I mean, you got him in the 7th round. You can go get a guy in the 3rd round next year, get him on another rookie deal, and probably at least have more flashy, eye candy talent to have high hopes of going into the year.
Yeah,
Other than, I mean, Brock Purdy wasn't that.
After Peyton Thorne lights up the world this year, go draft him in the 3rd round and get him a Super Bowl.
War Eagle, Brian.
I think that's where that conversation ends. But I will jump into a little Mike of the week here. And this possibly could have been a winner of the week, but I mean, everyone was shocked. I don't know if you guys saw the headline, but Team USA taking down Pakistan, and I guess it was the Cricket World Cup. Like, dude, I didn't even know Team USA had a cricket team, let alone go into group play and take down. Apparently, that was some kind of like historic all-time win by Team USA. Now, they're undefeated in group play, and also somehow they got in India's group, which I think India is like the almighty cricket team to beat. So the U.S. is undefeated. India is undefeated. I think that's the next matchup is India versus Team USA in group play. But, yeah, Team USA beating Pakistan in, I guess it's the Cricket World Cup or whatever tournament that is. I mean, you want to talk about Mike of the Week, something surprising? I would have never guessed in a million years that would be a headline. I thought I didn't even know we were in the World Cup playing, and they beat Pakistan, which is apparently an unbelievable upset.
Yeah, in terms of just sheer like odds-on upset, it's a bigger upset than when they beat the USSR back in 1980.
Actually,
Yeah, it has to be. Has to be.
The Team USA's cricket program is compared to like Pakistan and India is like very, very new. And they're not really even paying. I don't know if they pay the players or how that works, but Team USA's team captain is a accountant at Oracle or something. Like they're not full-time players. In Pakistan, they like train a year round. They're professional cricket players. US guys just do this for fun.
Yeah, like that. Like it's an all-time. I think you can put it up as like like a 5 guys off the street go and beat an NBA team. I don't know how close that is,
It's
but
pretty
like
accurate.
I think it's pretty close to what just happened.
Like a men's league.
Yeah, like
YMCA team.
like a competitive men's league went out and beat an NBA team.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's an unbelievable upset.
that's mad, dude.
And if they go out and they're not going to beat India, there's no way they go and beat India because India is better than Pakistan. But like, dude, if they somehow pull that off, that would be unreal. I also thought I saw a report that said like USA's cricket team is secretly just like a undercover like Indian team that like all those guys could easily go play on Team India. So I don't know how many. I guess it's a lot of like Indian nationals who are U.S. citizens who play on Team USA's cricket team. I don't know how it all works, but Team USA score one for the good guys on the cricket pitch.
I was saying maybe we just got all of the B team from India.
Well,
It could have been what it was.
the best part, or at least my favorite part about the whole thing, was like a week before that happened. There was a throw, I think it was in the KBO or something, but somebody quote tweeted it was like, "This is why baseball athletes are the best athletes in the world." And then a cricket fan was like, just watch some cricket and your mind will really be blown. And baseball Twitter and cricket Twitter got into like a huge debate for like days about which sport's better. And then USA takes down Pakistan. And all these people that have never watched a game of cricket or I guess a match of cricket in their life are just chirping the Pakistan Twitter.
Literally chirping it. I actually did see that. Somebody was like, "You think that's a good throw?" Because I saw the throw. It was a laser beam by the guy
from right field.
Yep.
Yeah, and
That was one of the best throws I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was definitely a laser, but the cricket guys wanted some credit over in their respective sports, so that created a little Twitter finger brawl over, or I guess X finger. Now that's what that app is called, but either way, congrats to Team USA. Let's see if they can go do a job against India. That'd be more crazy, but let's keep it rolling on here. That's the Mike of the Week. Stay tuned for winners and losers in the next one, but Mike of the Week, presented always. Still looking for sponsors. So for right now, presented by Views from Section 400. Zin, I know you're out there. I know you're looking for somebody to sponsor. We're right here. But let's jump over. It's the NBA Finals. Boring finals. Honestly, a pretty yawn fest, honestly. You didn't even need to watch last night. And it was a closer game than game one. But yeah, Boston up 2-0. I guess the series isn't over yet until a home team loses. So I'll just kind of gauge your guys' field here. Dallas now has 2 at home. If they go and tie the series 2-2, series is obviously tied. But as of right now, are you sold on that assumption or is the series over?
Well, as the Mavericks owner, or I guess governor, would famously say, "I'm out. This series is over." Teams that go up 2-0 in the NBA Finals win it 86% of the time. The Celtics shot like shit. Jason Tatum forgot how to shoot, and they still won by double digits in game 2. I don't know if it ended at double digits. They were up double digits, and then the Mavs came back at the end and made it a game, I guess. But it wasn't close after blowing them out in game 1 when they actually played a good game. They're just too good. I mean, you see it, like Drew Holiday put up 23 points, and that's better than, might have been more than like the combined bench of the Mavericks. It's more than Kyrie Irving had. He's been playing like shit. So yeah, the series is over.
Yeah, Drew Holiday hit a step back 3 from the corner, Ray Allen-esque from that Heat championship run. And as soon as I saw him cash that 3 from the corner while stepping back, I went, if Drew Holiday's hitting that shot, you're not winning a game in this finals. You're simply not. Even with Tatum, like Brian said, shooting like crap. I don't even want to bring up his numbers for his own sake because I know he's a friend of the pod. I know he watches. I don't want him to feel bad about himself, but he needs to shoot a little bit better than what he has. But, even though you say that, Jaylen Brown's getting it done. Derek White's getting it done on offense and defense. Pretty incredible block he had on PJ Washington down the stretch. Don't want to get into whether that was a foul or not by Brown, but yeah, the Celtics have just absolutely dominated, even without their stars being absolute stars. They've dominated. Kyrie has struggled in this series, as I thought he would, but we're going back to Dallas. As Matt said, it's not over until you lose at home. We know Dallas is susceptible to losing at home, and we know the Celtics are an absolute road warrior team, but it's not over until Dallas loses 1-0.
I mean, Dante Exum has made more three-pointers in this series than Kyrie Irving. Luka can keep putting up 30-point triple-doubles, so it's not going to matter if Kyrie can't score 20 points.
Yeah. Well, I guess I might as well take this time after that comment to say the 30 and 10 from Luka cashed. Hope somebody rode with me on that.
Yeah, I'm going to remain hopeful here and say until Dallas loses at home, I'm not giving up. Look what happened. I know it's different sports here, but look what happened when the Phillies were up 2-0 and they had to go to Arizona. Did they come back the same? No. So Boston's got to go down to Texas. They got to go into Dallas. It's a different atmosphere, a whole different thing. I'm going to remain hopeful until Dallas loses at home. I mean, if it's 2-2 going back to Boston, different series.
Yeah. The Red Sox did not lose a head coach to the Rangers. That's the only difference in those two. So I don't know if that tracks.
What do you mean?
Well, you said that the only reason the Phillies lost that series was the Jonathan Gannon bad juju.
Yeah, so where are you getting Red Sox from? Would it be the
Celtics.
Patriots?
You talking about the Celtics?
Yeah. I just went a different, yeah.
It'd have to be the Patriots that lost.
Well, I went baseball because you were talking about the Phillies.
I guess. But either way, teams go out there and they lose their juju when they got to come back. So to my point, I'm not giving up hope yet. I don't want to see Boston win. It's going to be tough, especially Boston's only running, I think, an 8-man rotation and not lose. I mean, the Mavs have like 4 or 5, not 6, but like 5 guys who are coming off the bench for them. And it's a night and day difference between what Boston's able to do in terms of running with 8 guys and just being lights out when that second unit has to come in for the Mavs. I mean, they have nobody. They essentially borderline can't compete when they have to go the second unit. So I'm going to hold out hope just because I don't want to see Boston win, but it's not looking good, bruv.
Yep, I'm with you, man.
It's over.
It's over. That's all we got. It's over. It's over, but we can keep cashing Mavs props.
Yes, we will.
I think that's the best way to put it. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, look, we can get a little more fired up with it if Dallas ends up winning, but like I just said, not looking good. In other news in the NBA, little college basketball in June. Weird, but we'll take it. Dan Hurley turning down 6 years, $70 million from the LA Lakers, right? So you get the step up to the NBA, $70 million, which is kind of nothing compared to these huge contracts that the actual stars get. But $70 million, still $70 million. Maybe the hottest hot seat of an NBA coaching job, but you get to be the head coach of the LA Lakers. Turned it down to go chase a third title as the UConn head coach. I respect the move of returning to the team to go chase for that title. At the same time, that's a big step up. I think he made the right move here, though, because the NBA, you see a lot of these guys jump to the NBA and it doesn't work out. And especially the Lakers coaching job, which is, like I just said, the hottest hot seat in the NBA. You know, if he wanders there, he's going to have to pull Rick Pitino and go to like a low-level college coach to work his way back up. But the UConn job, I think, is almost just as good. But what do you guys think?
Yeah, no, I think you're absolutely right. Biggest decision that he's probably ever had to make. I can't blame him for turning down the money. I mean, it's the money or the legacy. I think debatably staying with UConn gives yourself a better chance at keeping that legacy or, expanding that legacy. Going 3 back to back to back, never been done before. that is what gets you in the history books more than being LeBron James' next head coach. So for that, for job security reasons, I mean, why would you want to go out to LA when you could be gone in a year with the way this shit's been going over there for the past 5? And I think that LA would have done a better job with Hurley. Kind of an interesting question that I was thinking of is like, would they give him the keys to the kingdom over LeBron at this point in LeBron's career? Do they say, look, Dan, like you're coming in here and you're going to tell LeBron what's what? Because everybody else that has coached LeBron over the past however many years, maybe a decade at this point, has just been a quiet coach that's coming in and saying yes, sir, to LeBron and, GM LeBron, or lay GM, as some people call him. But, Dan Hurley is not that guy. He would have came in here and just said, this is how we do things. So I'm not surprised it didn't work out. I'm really not. And I think as much as I would like to see Bruce Pearl become the new face of coaching in college basketball with Hurley leaving, I'm happy Hurley's there because he belongs in the college game.
Yeah, as good as Hurley is with the X's and O's, his personality does not really fit an NBA locker room. Especially when you look at the other guy they're looking at, JJ Redick. I think he's the perfect fit, especially for a LeBron team. The fellow player, I mean, they have a podcast together, so he obviously respects him. But yeah, I'm just
I think that's too much of a conflict of interest.
Maybe.
I don't think so. I think if anything, they see that and they're like, well, they get along. I doubt the podcast lives on if he gets hired to be the Lakers head coach.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think both happen simultaneously.
Oh, no, there's no shot that the podcast continues. But yeah, the last thing, I'm just excited because, Matt, you get way too many good sports teams in this world, so at least UConn will continue running the Big East. So Nova will not.
Yeah, I mean, Nova has the bigger issues than worrying about whatever UConn's doing. So, did I want to see Dan Hurley go to – I mean, as much as I don't like Dan Hurley just because his personality pisses me off, but he is a good head coach with the X and O's. He does know what he's doing. Obviously, 2 titles back-to-back and I'd say a good shot at going and getting a third one. Granted, losing some key pieces, but every coach deals with that. Nova's got a lot more issues to worry about than Dan Hurley coming back to UConn. But, yeah, in terms of the Lakers, they've been through, 15 head coaches since Phil Jackson retired? 14. I mean, it's been a lot. Been a big number. Yeah, it's just another L for them. And to your LeBron thing, was he in the meetings with Dan Hurley?
No,
and did Dan Hurley say, I want the keys, and LeBron said no shot, and that's what broke it off?
If he was in the meetings, the Lakers have a big problem. There's
I
no
think
reason.
LeBron has one foot out the door out there in LA, no?
Exactly. That's why I'm thinking if the Lakers do this, they're giving Dan Hurley the keys to the kingdom, and LeBron for the first time, and this isn't going to happen at this point, but LeBron for the first time in over a decade has a coach that's actually going to tell him what's good.
Well, I think if Hurley came in, you would have saw that would have been the end of LeBron.
Yeah, you think
if Hurley got hired, I don't think LeBron plays another minute in a Laker uniform.
I think LeBron would have. I think he would have liked Hurley for 2 years. He would have liked Hurley because I think they would have brought in Bronny, and Hurley would have been good for Bronny. And then he would have gotten sick of him after they didn't win, and he would have retired.
Maybe. I mean, I guess it's all speculation and hypotheticals at this point.
Yeah, we'll never know.
Yeah.
We'll never know. But let's jump into the long-awaited. Matt was right per usual. Caitlin Clark snubbed from the – well, is it really snubbing? Caitlin Clark doesn't make the Olympic roster. I mean, look at her. People were asking her in the interview, are you disappointed? She said, look, I'm just a rookie. It's very hard to make that team, make that roster. She said nothing to be disappointed about. I just, going to work hard to hopefully one day make it. And look, it's a tough group, tough elite players. And I already said she looked overmatched at the WNBA level. Sure, she had 30 points. Her team's not good. She has a turnover issue. And she's young. This isn't going to, she's going to have plenty of other times to make that roster. you don't need to just throw her out there for a pity party. I know you want to do the pity parade, Brian, but that's not what you need.
It's not a pity parade. If you want to truly grow the women's game in the USA, you put her on the Olympic roster, you get people to watch.
Growing the women's
And it's not just about that.
Ariel
Atkins made the USA roster. Ariel Atkins just got outplayed for 30, however many minutes they played in a WNBA game by Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark had 38-6. Ariel Atkins had like 16-5. She is not better on the season or in that game than Caitlin Clark is. Diana Taurasi, who deserves to be on the roster, if you want to talk about a pity party, she is not better in any major statistical category this year than Caitlin Clark. So there's two guards that did not deserve to get in over Caitlin Clark if you just want to talk about stats. And then on top of that, you have the whole thing where you will get more views, you will get more recognition, you will grow the game if you add Caitlin Clark. So there's no reason other than she got Isaiah Thomas by the rest of the WNBA players that she should not be on this roster. And everybody should get fired involved with Team USA basketball. I'm sticking to that point because this is a joke that she is not on the roster.
Well, the Olympics aren't for growing the sport.
It's broadcasted on NBC, a network that just put a bunch of money into basketball. They're going to broadcast a bunch of basketball games.
Yeah, but that's not the NBC isn't picking the team.
They're not, but you would think with the WNBA and the NBA partnering with that broadcast network, they would want people to see their star. And Team USA basketball would want their star, their biggest name, their biggest promising young talent to be on the biggest stage against. They're gonna win anyway. You don't need to pick anybody that's slightly better than Caitlin Clark. The second place team is China at plus 2,000 odds to beat Team USA. They're 76-3 in their last how many games. Put Caitlin Clark on the team.
Well, maybe if they don't win it, then that can spike up some
Yeah, I hope they don't win it.
Some fired up comments, but
Brian, you nailed it with the Isaiah Thomas comment. And you want to know what the reality of it is it's Diana Taurasi's fault. As soon as she retires from the game, Caitlin Clark will take her spot immediately. Next Olympics comes around, that's going to be the case. I'm not making a bold prediction here. That's just the reality of it. She wanted to stick around for one extra year, and that's what ruined Caitlin Clark's shot.
It reminds me of on a very smaller level because obviously they made the team, but early on in LeBron, Melo, and Wade's careers when they were benched basically on that Olympic roster and the U.S. got bronze, I think. It's just promote the young talent.
Well, I mean, I'm a firm believer in put the best players out there and dominate with whoever the best players are. But
she's better than at least this year. She's been better than Taurasi and Ariel Atkins.
Yeah, no, I agree that she's better than Taurasi, and this is the pity party for Taurasi. You were right about that.
All I know is that pretty sure I was right, Brian, and you were wrong. So score one for the good guys.
I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you looked at me like I was crazy when I brought that up.
Because it is crazy. It's a crazy thing that she's not on the roster. And it just so happened that USA basketball is as crazy as that take is.
I don't think it's that out.
Clearly wasn't that crazy. I mean, I don't have who is it? Is it the Gino guy, the UConn coach? Is he the
I
guy
think he's still the coach, yeah.
I don't have his number on speed dial. I didn't get leaked information.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying the fact she didn't make it is crazy enough to where I don't think you're right for that take. I think it's a ridiculous thing she didn't make the roster.
It's hard to articulate, I guess, because just right, and I get the points, the 30 points, and the this and the that, and fucking threes from fucking further than where Steph Curry shoots, and growing the game, and look at all this attention and this, that, and the third. But there's just something about when she stepped on the court and played, she looked overmatched. It looked too big, and it just looks like she needs a bit of time to adjust. And running and throwing her out there as a rookie, as her first fucking 5 games of professional basketball, is a pity party move to me. And you can disagree all you want, but the fucking coaches who are making the call have the same line of sight that I do, apparently.
The Diana Taurasi and the fellow players and the gatekeepers of the WNBA are making the call. That's why she's not on the roster.
Well, I guess my eyes are lying to me, and they're lying to the people who make the decision.
Yeah, your eyes and your brain, because her stats are better than two of the guards that made the roster.
Yeah, and at some point, doesn't experience outweigh that a little more than just fucking a small sample size of her jacking up threes?
This is going to be Ariel Atkins' first Olympics too.
Yeah, but is she a rookie? Is she
She's 24. She's young.
Oh, so she has a lot more professional experience. Got it.
And she's averaging almost 3 buckets less a game
Okay, and I'll take the
in the same league.
I'll take the professional experience over a small sample size 22-year-old guard who's played, what, 6 games of pro basketball, who has shown signs of looking overmatched. And oh, by the way, I don't know what the average is, but she averages close to 10 turnovers over averaging close to 1 turnover per game.
She averages 10 turnovers because she's on a terrible team. You put her on Team USA where she doesn't have to do everything. She's not going to turn the ball over.
She might.
Like Jack said, you can make her a spot-up shooter, and she's your best shooter instantly, and she's not going to turn the ball over when all she does is catch the ball and shoot.
Yeah, they should have included her. Look, bottom line, she should be on the team for that reason. They should have put her in as a 3-point specialist. But the reality of it is, Brian, you said it. They don't need her. They're going to win this shit anyway. It turned political, and yes, she got gatekeeped. Can we move on from Caitlin Clark?
Yeah.
I'm down.
Sweet.
So moving on, NHL Game 2 tonight. Jack is obviously fired up. We already went over the Mickey Mouse future that he gave out, but we'll let him get fired up for the Florida Panthers, who go to take down the Pacific Northwest Edmonton Oilers.
Wait, before Jack, before you say anything, I never said the words Pacific Northwest. I want to. You've been gaslighting me this whole time. I looked back at the clip and I said West Coast, and Edmonton is not on the West Coast, and you've been just bringing up Pacific Northwest, and you made me believe I said Pacific Northwest. So credit to you for making me believe something I didn't say, but I said West Coast.
Do your homework, man.
I did. It just took me a while.
Brian, I don't think that's good, though, because if you want the entire West Coast, you're including yourself with San Francisco.
Well, I said West Coast, not including San
Right,
Francisco.
that's why it's complete Mickey Mouse nonsense.
My exact quote was the West Coast without San Francisco.
Which is ridiculous.
I make the rules. It was my take, so I get to make the rules.
Fucking, and you want to call my Panthers bet la la and Mickey Mouse? Yeah, this is some la la Mickey Mouse bullshit.
I think our friend of the program, friend of the pod, Ben, said perfectly. It's close enough and as quick of a turnaround enough of the take to where it should fucking count. Because it's just a ridiculous take. It's a just totally ridiculous take. And like Ben said in the comments, it's close enough to where it should count. And that's what we're sticking to, and that's what we're going with. And look, shouldn't have much to worry about because, granted, I think the Oilers had more shots, but the Panthers won 3-0, and I think they win tonight at home as well.
Yeah, what, their goalie had 32 saves?
Yeah, Bobrovsky, he's insane, dude.
Flyers legend.
He played a pretty perfect game. The Panthers overall played a pretty perfect game in Game 1. And I'm with Matt. They're taking Game 2. They're winning the series. Brian, you're not going to have to worry about the whole Edmonton championship because it's not coming. It's staying and it's going down to Florida, where it's been a couple times over the past few years. And this time it's the Panthers' turn. So welcome back to Florida to the Stanley Cup. I'm going to knock on some wood now.
I think the Panthers get it done tonight. And again, you'll watch us tomorrow after we already know. But they get it done tonight. Then I think they'll split in Edmonton. The Oilers will get one. Panthers will get one. So that'll be 3-1 coming back to Florida. Florida wraps it up at home to keep the cup where it belongs in the United States. Brian, let's hear what you got.
I guess let's go Panthers. If I'm not going to get off the hook for Edmonton being on the West Coast, then I'll just say let's go Panthers. Even though I don't believe that a town where it's year round, like 70 degrees, deserves a hockey championship.
Well, that's very judgmental of you.
if you haven't noticed by now, almost a year into this podcast, I'm a very judgmental person when it comes to sports.
Well, I can tell you one thing. Those people down in Florida do like their hockey. There are a lot of big Panthers fans there. Even though it's 70, 75 degrees out year-round, in the wintertime at least, you still see people rocking Florida Panthers jerseys. The whole hockey get-up, those things are not light. And they'll be wearing them out in Fort Lauderdale, Miami area. So give those Florida hockey fans some credit, all right?
Yeah, I don't think that should matter at all because there's other warm areas of the country that stays warm year round that are like, I think your more thing is that it's not historic, storied franchise in a vacation area. But the LA Kings are a pretty historic franchise. I don't see anybody bitching and complaining that they won, and that's pretty sure it's warm there all year round.
Well, no one gives a fuck about LA sports.
Well, how about Tampa? How about Tampa when the Lightning won? Were you mad about that, Brian?
That's different because Tampa's like
no, he wasn't
sports
mad about
it. Tampa doesn't have enough sports where it's like they deserve to have another team.
All right, here's where you just now are just flip flop,
Because
Brian.
like no one gives a fuck about the Rays and the Bucks without Tom Brady. Like no one really cared. So that's their team. Like Florida,
Brian,
you have enough.
Brian, you know what? I'm just gonna sign the terms and conditions and not read them. So let's move on.
Fuck off.
Either way, Panthers look primed, absolutely primed to get the Stanley Cup Final. Bring it back to Florida, but more importantly, keep it in the United States.
God bless.
Little MLB London series. Phillies Mets tied 1-1, kind of a buzzkill, right? You want to see that rubber match over there, or at least a team sweep.
There was a rubber match. The Mets won the weekend 2-1. Daniel Murphy beat Chase Utley in the home run derby.
I didn't even know that was a thing, so doesn't
I didn't
count
hear
my
about
eyes.
that.
Yeah, Daniel Murphy beat out Chase Utley after all the Mets fans, all the fuck Chase Utley memes. After they had the audacity to let Chase Utley be in a ceremonial first double play, not even a first pitch. And then Daniel Murphy goes out there and beats him in a home run derby.
That's awesome.
Well, Daniel Murphy's older than Chase Utley, so he should. And Daniel Murphy's a roid head, so there's two things.
A roid head.
Wouldn't you think the younger guy would do better?
I think he
Oh,
meant
did I
younger.
flip that up? Murphy's younger than
Murphy's younger by like 3 years, maybe.
okay. He's still younger.
That's the same sports. You're playing with people around your age. No one's the same
He's
age.
a younger
in sports.
guy, and he does steroids.
Murphy does not do steroids.
Well, Chase Utley has been needing Viagra since his 16th birthday. So, where's that playing into this argument?
Yeah, that's a
Is
PED
that
too.
steroid?
Yeah.
Steroid?
Yeah.
Not for PEDs purposes, maybe in the bedroom.
Ask Ocho. Ocho will tell you Viagra's a PED. Get some blood pumping.
In the bedroom.
Ocho used to take it before the games.
Good for him. Yeah, look, the Phillies are the best team in baseball. The Mets are 17.5 out of the NL East. So that's the bottom line in the London series. And I think that's all you really need to know.
16.5 after Luis Torrens made the city of Philadelphia cry.
Yeah, Matt just said scoreboard right there.
It's 3 out of the wild card. So maybe we'll see you in the playoffs.
The more important thing is the Mets usually play very well against the Phillies in the regular season, and it has been all Philly so far.
We just talked about it being a tie, 1-1.
What are you talking about? We already swept you.
Yeah, but these last 2 games was 1-1. So it hasn't been all Philly. The most recent 2 games, it's tied 1-1.
Brian.
5. Wait, no, you didn't sweep the 4-game series, did you?
I'm pretty sure they did.
That would be bad.
You can double check me on that, but I want to say it was a 4-game sweep. Either way, it might have been. I'm pretty sure it was 4. If not, the season series is 4-2.
Yeah, that's a big difference between 4-2 and 5-1 is a big difference.
Win. That's a 7-game series win.
Yeah.
Well, there's more of them. Yeah, it's 4-2. There's a lot more games in the season.
I'm aware.
And that's not all Phillies. That's 4-2. Saying it's all Phillies would be like 6-0.
Would you say 4-2 is all Mets?
No.
Would you say 4-2 is
pretty
tied?
even. That's pretty even.
How is that even? You let us know. I'm not going back and forth on this. Let us know in the comments. Is 4-2 even? Yes or no? That's all we need to hear. Is 4-2 even?
It leaves opportunity for it to be even. If it was
Not really,
5-1 or
because
6-0, I'd concede. But 4-2, like it's the door is wide open for the season series still. It's not over. Like you're acting like it's over. You're saying it's all Phillies, like the season series is over.
I'm
4-2
saying
I
leaves a lot
think
of room.
I'm saying so far it's been all Philly.
That's
I
not
think we
it's
need a Matt. I think we need a Matt 0% guarantee.
Nah, I won't go 0% because baseball's too long of a season. But and I decide when I do the 0%ers. I don't need you guys throwing out 0%, mad 0% guarantee. I'm not coming at you, Jack. Brian likes to try and bait me into those as well. But in terms of this, no, I'm not going to give that out. Um, I don't know that the next one probably will come in the football season. But yeah, I mean, look, 17 game lead over the Mets specifically, and 4-2 season series. Yeah, that's what this argument is. Now, we're not talking about the door being wide open. I'm saying it's been all Philly, and that's what it has been
they just tied 1-1 in a series.
in an international series game, in a game that the Phillies should have won, but the baseball scripters had to have the Mets win because of all the money that the fans paid to go over there, and it'd be a tragedy to not see your team win. That's what, because everything's all about everybody's got to be fair. That's why they only do 2 games, and each team wins 1 game.
So Nick Castellanos hitting the ball 2 feet was in the script.
Yes.
He's that skilled to hit the ball 2 feet off the bat, and then Luis
Yes. No,
Torrens.
I think they primed it to be a strikeout, but he got lucky and nipped the ball. That's what it was supposed to be. Was a strikeout, but he just, by the grace of God, clipped the ball and it bounced. But yeah, I mean, look, let us know in the comments. You don't have to come at me. Has it been all Philly? Yes or no? I think everybody will agree with me. Let's move on though. NFL in Brian's terms of being all world, Darren Waller, the all world tight end, retires after 1 year playing with Daniel Jones. Brian, your thoughts?
Yeah, thanks for the memories, Darren. Shithead.
What memories?
Exactly.
Man, I got nothing to say. I hope he's doing okay mentally. I know the whole thing with the video happened and now he's retiring. I just hope he's getting the medical treatment he needs because that noggin is probably rattling.
Did he have any highlights? Like, what did he have? 500 yards last year?
He caught a cool pass in training camp.
But yeah, I was gonna say, wasn't he hurt like all year?
He had one game where I think in that Cardinals comeback, he was the leading receiver. Yeah, when they had to come back to beat the terrible Cardinals. Who the Eagles lost to, by the way.
Yeah, but didn't the Giants play the Cardinals without Kyler Murray? The Eagles played the Cardinals with Kyler Murray.
Yes.
The Giants played Josh Dobbs.
Josh Dobbs was good.
Josh Dobbs lit it up week 2.
Was that when they played the Giants?
Wasn't it?
It was early, yeah.
I don't know that it was week 2, but I do remember he had one game where he went.
It might have been week
look,
3. Because I
look,
think the
he
Giants
earned
started
he
over
earned a trade to the Vikings out of it, and then everything fell off the cliff.
Yeah, he had a good game on Sunday Night Football, or maybe it was a bad game where he scored the game-winning touchdown. But yeah, it
Wasn't
really
that game like 10-10?
Yeah. I think he dove for the pylon at the end and he had like the
I
game-winning
remember that
touchdown.
game. It was like extremely low scoring as we're sitting here jerking off Josh Dobbs, lighting it up.
That might have been the beginning of the end for Josh Dobbs, actually.
I think so. But yeah, NFL news. Giants can't stay out of the L column of the headlines as Darren Waller hangs it up. And now they invest all this capital into a wide receiver. Don't have a big play tight end. Who is their guy? Don't they have like a backup big white goofy guy who's
They got Dan Bellinger and then
Bellinger.
they drafted the Penn State tight end in the 4th round this year.
Oh, he's a big boy.
Yeah, we'll see if he's any good.
And then who's their starting running backs?
Not
Saquon.
Devin Singletary, and I think they still have Devontae Booker kicking.
What?
And they have the Oklahoma kid, Gray, something Gray.
And then just
It's Slayton and what's his face? Isaiah Hodgins and Wandale Robinson for the receiving corps.
Yeah, Neighbors is gonna have to do everything.
And Neighbors, yeah. Forgot about him.
He's gonna have to do everything. Oof. I mean, that's gonna.
Oof.
That's. I mean, dude, the Commanders literally could finish better than the Giants this year.
Probably will, because yeah, Daniels is gonna win Rookie of the Year.
No, he's not.
I think it'll be like Commanders win 5 games, Giants win 4 games kind of deal. But we can jump
Giants
into
are
that.
gonna win 8, Commanders are gonna win 9.
Brian, no, that's just not happening. Giants are going to win 8 games.
Yeah, we've been over this. We went over the schedule.
That is true, but that was like a biased schedule.
I thought I was pretty unbiased there.
Whatever. All right. The Red Hot segment, one of our better ones, views from section 400, the 4 in 400. We snake draft a topic, and then you guys vote on who had the best list. In this one, 4 in 400 presents the best college basketball coaches of all time. Women's and men's are on the table, so we have a lot of greats out there to pick from. I believe the draft order in this one's going to go Brian, myself at 2. Jack will wrap it up with the back-to-back picks at the end there at number 3. But 4 in 400, presented by Views from Section 400. It's the best college, women's and men's basketball coaches of all time. Without further ado, Brian, you're on the clock.
All right, so I am 2-0 in these, but now that I have the first pick, I'll probably end up losing this one because that's just how my life works. But I feel like there's a pretty obvious first pick. The guy that started it all, Mr. John Wooden.
Yeah, I mean, pretty tough to go against that. That's probably who I would have had at number 1. So I'll take the other haymaker right off the board here and go with Coach K, Mike Krzyzewski.
Okay.
I wanted to get Coach K.
Yeah, I wanted him on my. Oh, sorry, I'm getting a call. I'm sorry.
Your face froze on a pretty funny thumbnail there.
Sorry, I was getting a phone call. Yeah, I wanted Coach K on my roster too, Matt. But great pick. Great pick. Definitely a first round worthy mention, but keeping it college coaches only. I'll take 2 ACC guys here. I'll go, and following up Coach K. This feels right. I'm gonna go Roy Williams and Jim Boeheim.
Respectable. I think there's some big haymakers on the board, though.
Yeah, I had Boeheim on mine. I would like to get his zone defense in there.
At what point do the women's coaches start to play weight, right? Because there's obviously the heavy haymakers there. And if I don't take one of them, Brian's probably going to go and grab them. But I think I got to stick to the men here. And it's not only an awesome coach, but character. And it's going to be Mr. Bobby Knight. Yeah, Brian, suck on that.
Damn it. I heard you say women's coaches, and I was like, all right, I'm good. And then you just had to bring me in to then just kick me again on this podcast.
Come on, man. That's what I do best.
That's tough. That is really tough.
And Brian on the clock rattled.
Okay, so oh man. So
sniped it right from underneath.
All right. Well, I might go 2 women's coaches then. No, you know what? I'm gonna go with Mr. Villanova. I'm gonna go Jay Wright. And for my second pick, I'm gonna go with the women's coach goat, Gino, or whatever your fucking name is.
Gino.
Yep.
Wow.
All right.
I can't believe you stole Matt's guy right there.
I mean, I had Jay Wright on there on the list. I wouldn't have gone that high. And honestly, I don't even know if I was gonna draft him. But I do think he is one of the greats for sure. But I don't know. I don't know. That's not like a huge snub on my list. Maybe as like a pity party move would have taken him with like my final pick. But
Well, it was either him or another women's coach, and I felt like I had to go. I couldn't go 2 women's and then for my last one, I might have a women's too. I got to keep it. Got to keep it.
Well, yeah, because I sit here right at this 3 spot, and I think I'm trying to think of titles, but I think to give the woman some respect, I would go with the legend, Pat Summitt.
God damn it, dude! You have the draft I wanted. I should have just gone with. I knew the first pick would kill me.
Brian, I think you have a great draft, bud.
Yeah, but
Think of
Matt
it.
has the exact draft like I wanted coming in. Like if I could think about the exact draft.
This is going exactly how I wanted it to go.
Yeah, you got a good list.
All right. Well, I feel like it's only fair that I get some women on my board here. There are two very powerful women in college basketball that are still coaching to this day, still providing championships. So without further ado, I'm taking Miss Dawn Staley and Miss Kim Mulkey.
Well, this will be a 2-horse race list.
Yeah, I think Kim Mulkey's just a poor woman's Pat Summitt.
That's crazy to say. That's crazy to say.
They're both
Four
characters. They're both characters. They're both like SEC coaches, but I just feel like Pat Summitt is the pinnacle of what Kim Mulkey wants to be.
All right, Brian. Well, let me ask you this: is she on the board for my pick? No, she's not. So what do I have to do? I have to pivot and take literally her mini me, her Dr. Evil mini me, in Kim Mulkey, who has 4 championships with 2 different programs. All right, so let's give her some credit here. I know she's got a lot of flash, a lot of style, but she just won a championship 2 years ago with LSU. Let's give her some fucking credit here.
All right, whatever.
I just grabbed the last 2 women's college champions, you know? I know Gino's got the numbers. I know Pat's got the numbers, but look, I'm talking about right here, right now.
If that's a true stat, because I didn't know that was true. If she's got 4 titles, I'll give her some respect. I didn't know it was 4.
3 with Baylor and 1 with LSU.
Good for her. I think I'm still leaning Summitt though.
Yep.
Fair enough. She got 8.
Can I snub Brian on his final?
I have 3 that I kind of like here, so you won't be able to snub me again.
No, but I can make it sting. A lot of good guys on right. Like, do I go old guy? Oh, there's Brian. He's already rattled right when I say old guy. Right, like there's 2 guys. I have 3 here as well. I want to say 1, but I think, and the other guy might have been better, but I forget the stats on who it is. It doesn't matter that much, so I'll just eeny, meeny, miny, moe it. I don't know what the right answer is, and I don't know if I'm like making a horrible decision by picking one or the other.
Got to start playing some Oscars music to get you off the stage here.
I will go. I'll go with Mr. Dean Smith.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going a different route with my last pick. So I'm going with just my Cinderella, because college you always think the Cinderella guys. So I'm between Shaheen Holloway, who was a great coach, but I think it'd be too on a graphic it wouldn't look great because I have to explain, the Elite 8 run. Then he gets to Seton Hall, gets snubbed for March Madness, but then wins the NIT. Just everywhere he's been successful. Then you got Jim Larinaga, of course, goes there with George Mason, and now he's good with Miami. But I think because the run is so iconic, and I know it wasn't a long, sustained period of greatness, but Jimmy Valvano, I'm taking it. Survive and advance. When you think of college basketball, you think of Jimmy V. So,
yeah, the Jimmy V Classic. I mean, him going on that run, getting diagnosed with cancer, obviously losing his battle. Shame, horrible that it had to happen that way, but such an iconic, legendary story. I mean, there's an entire foundation, multi-million-dollar foundation because of it. So, as horrible as what happened to him is, that's just a phenomenal program or foundation that was brought to light and created because of it. So I think it's a good move in terms of, again, you're Mr. Pity. So great pity pick.
The
But-
run alone, without everything after, the run alone is one of the best Cinderella runs in the history of college basketball. So he deserves to be
And
on
I
this.
agree. But this isn't picking the best Cinderella runs ever, which I think will be a good Form 400 topic down the line. But this was best coaches. And was Valvano a best coach?
I don't know. I think if you're thinking about guys you'd want to play for, I think he'd be up there.
I don't know. Did we snub Adolph Rupp?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the two Kentucky coaches got snubbed. We didn't mention Calipari either.
No.
I was between Adolph Rupp and Dean Smith, but I honestly just didn't feel like saying Adolf, so that's why I went with
Yeah,
Dean
no,
Smith.
that's why I chose not to say it.
I third that.
Can never trust
So-
an Adolf.
That was when I was like on between these two guys, but I just didn't want to have an Adolf on my list. So, well, with Mr. Dean Smith, who not a bad pick, but Mr. Rupp probably might have been a little bit of a better pick.
Yeah, the only other one I had on my list was Bill Self. Like he's been around for so long. So maybe
How
he
many
got snubbed.
titles did Dean Smith have? I know he was legendary, but
I feel like 4 is a safe answer, somewhere around there.
yeah, like that's what I'm saying. I don't think picking him at the 4 spot was a bad pick.
Because he was the coach with MJ, so he definitely has one. So I think he got a few other ones over there
He got 2.
too. Okay, just a lot of wins
82
then. A lot of wins.
82 and 93.
Yeah,
he
so
made
a lot of
11 Final Fours, but only 2
There you
champions.
go.
Yeah, so that's nuts. But yeah, I mean those are the lists. What did Rupp had some titles in there, right?
Rupp had to have a lot because Kentucky was a wagon.
Yeah. So maybe we did snub him, but
Oh, big snub. Patino.
Yeah, Oh, well, I was thinking about Patino, but after the whole scandal, he kind of just doesn't get to make he's getting Pete Rose. Getting Pete Rose.
Damn, I kind of want to take Patino instead of Jimmy V. Like I can't retroactively do it, but
how many titles does Patino have? Just one, right?
just the one, but he's won everywhere he's been.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think the Patino one's as crazy as you're making it out to be.
He's
Great
pretty
coach.
much he's given Dan Hurley the best games since Hurley's been on this run.
Yeah, I was gonna say the 2 snubs that I was thinking of outside of Mr. Rupp was Patino and Dan Hurley is making a case to be on this damn list at this point. It's kind of tough to get the active guys there. I get it, but at the same time, these are the stars of now. So
Yeah, the active guys, and still he doesn't have like he has the titles, but like a lot of these guys have like huge win numbers and win counts, and like does Hurley have the win count?
well, he just doesn't have the longevity yet. So in my
Right.
opinion, when you don't have the full career and the longevity, you got to look at percentages at that point.
Yeah, when we do this in 10 years, Hurley will be on the list.
No doubt. He'll be on the list next year if he wins it and gets 3 in a row.
Yeah. That's safe as well. I think he has a good shot to do it, but
I'm
Brian,
so
did you have
mad.
any closing remarks before we wrap this up?
I'm just mad I didn't pick Patino.
Well, that's going to be one you're going to have to sleep on until the next pod to make up for it. But definitely go vote on who had the best list, college, men's and women's basketball coaches, the best of all time. Maybe there's some snubs, maybe there's not. I thought they're pretty solid lists. I'm happy with my list. But that's all I got. It's views from section 400. As always, Matt, Jack, and Brian, uninterrupted sports conversation for the entirety of the show. I'll catch you in the next one.
I had a dream
You
the
are
Mets
now
won
in
the
the
World
mix with
Series.
DJ Savage.
No, he didn't.
I did. And scaring me.